Boom! At the open, our all-time high for the S&P 500.
It's your boy Jimmy.
Now, what's worth doing is worth doing for money.
Straight from y'all street to Wall Street.
Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil doesn't make up happy.
Dudes wake up, hope their girl turned on so they can get a little bit. Only woman in the morning I wanna turn on this Becky quick. While the average man looking at it's sad like she fine as I'm over here looking at tails and whips like yeah, 5'6". I left the mayhem for the market. Now I don't want a dope spot, I want a stock pick. I know that booty got dry, triggered my stop losses, but I ain't got time for your wop. My V-wops crossing. Rich with hot V's and pushing hot strategy and plans to make grand. Still in my wife beater, Batman pajamas, house slides, and about 5 hot picks for the day. Cause I like the way the Dow bounces. 4 hot dips on call, so I got options. 2 with a lot of volume, 1 with a double bottle. Now I know dumb money don't understand. Am I talking about my trade or just thinking with my MACD? You see, we different in the way we move. You move with kittens and your dog, I move with bears and bulls. I got a green thought, grow with the marijuana. Waking up with the fun, open up some commas. Jump out of bed, big profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packs and stop. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Profits. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETFs, making profits. I jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. See, me and Jim Cramer been talking mad money. Said today I'm taking a risk. They got the feds coming, but I got support here with me. I call it short squeeze. You get the drop, she pull the trigger and abort these. If she stay on my watch list, I might have to wife her. But I know better. I'm a true trading group lifer. Call up the Wolf of Weed Street. It's time to flip some profits. Go ahead, be hawking. Get your spot here. I'll double top that in the head and shoulders. Hit him up with this resistance. Watch him roll over. Cause I see John Wicks in contract. If I say I make $1 million a day, well, that's a large cap. You moving average, that's why you get crossed. Get split, get delisted, and knocked off. And I'm setting the whole block off. I'm buying GameStop and selling them roadblocks off. Jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my same making profits. They used to watch me move them packs. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETF. Hey, my family. Hey, go, what we doing, my man? Hey, make profits. Hey, Shug, Mike, what we doing? Hey, make profits. Yo, Wolf, Professor, what we doing? Hey, make profits. That TTG money gang, making profits. We some snipers.
Yo, what's up, everybody? What's going on, folks? Welcome to the True Trading Group live stream. I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day. We had a great day inside True Trading Group, a big day for us. CERO, bit of a short squeeze, small cap, low floater, some news. Was just an unreal trade for us. Stock still up 156% of the day, even though it is well off of its highs. Huge trade for us. In this thing from $14, rolled it all the way up to 24.5, was an absolute monster. Okay. But that's what we did today. We're here on this live stream, not just to talk about what we did today. Sure, I'll go over some lessons for you on what was the setup that made us feel comfortable about that short squeeze. But what we really want to know is what the hell is going to happen between today and tomorrow with Israel, Iran, the United States. We got the Fed meeting tomorrow. There's been a lot of headlines that have come across the news wire about the U.S. saying that, it is possible that we are considering striking some of Iran's nuclear facilities. And the Iranian state media, right before I came on this live stream, they're saying that there's going to be something that surprised tonight that's the world will remember for centuries or whatever it is. Right now, so far, it's been, a lot of back and forth, a lot of talk, a lot of headlines. We'll have to see what actually happens if the U.S. does get more involved. I'll tell you what I think happens in the markets and how we'll make money from a situation like that if it does happen. But then tomorrow's the Fed meeting. And, it's funny because if something happens between today and tomorrow, the markets are going to tomorrow morning be very focused on that situation. And if things escalate by us militarily getting involved, obviously, listen, the United States getting involved in support of Israel and having our aircrafts and everything else kind of help shoot down missiles and act in a defensive manner is very different than if we start acting in an offensive manner. And we'll have to see that would have an impact in the overall market. It'll impact equities. It'll impact oil prices. So we must have a plan on how we'll make money from that scenario if, in fact, it does take place. Then at 2:00, you're going to get the Fed decision. No rates, no rate change. That is expected. But at 2:30, we're going to get the press conference. People are going to be able to ask Jerome Powell questions. He's going to have a statement. Everybody's going to want to know, what does Jerome Powell think about what's going on in the Middle East? They're going to ask him about that stuff and what effect it has on oil prices and if that has an effect on inflation. That's what I'm the most focused on. I'm the most focused on if Iran decides to close off the Strait of Hormuz and 20% of all global oil supply can no longer flow through the Strait of Hormuz because you have Kuwait, Bahrain, the UAE, Qatar. All of that oil flows from the Persian Gulf through the Strait of Hormuz into the Arabian Sea, into the Indian Ocean. And if that is closed off, it cannot go that route. It's got to go a different way. So then transport costs go way up. And if oil prices go up, then that means inflation goes up. So we're in a very difficult spot. Inflation has been doing very, very well over the last couple of months. We hope to see that continue, but it's going to be hard to see that continue if oil is up at $100 a barrel. So we want to make sure that that does not happen. But if it does, have no fear. We've got a plan on how to make money from it. We're going to talk about all of this right here, right now. My name is Michael Edward Paranati. I go by Michael Edward. I am the co-founder and head trader of True Trading Group. In case you guys did not know, we are the Benzinga FinTech Chairman's Award recipient for Best AI Analysis Tool. My business partner and I actually in New York City, there we are, up on stage, receiving the award for Best AI Analysis Tool at the Benzinga Global FinTech Awards. It is an honor to be recognized by industry leaders like Benzinga for what it is that we are doing, implementing AI into the True Trading Group platform to allow our members to make money more consistently, more easily, and faster and sooner than they were previously, because we have created an AI platform. You guys have to understand, when you join True Trading Group, you are not joining just a chat room with courses and trade alerts, which are a dime a dozen. True Trading Group is a fintech platform that is completely integrated with every aspect of our platform is integrated with AI. Our award-winning AI, Mari. Okay. Mari will have the capability of bringing all of your tools and resources and indicators and chart patterns and news all together to have them communicate with each other seamlessly and give you the best insight possible to help you with actionable information that you can actually place trades from, all while considering you, the individual. Our AI is not just a blanket response like a Google search. Okay. Our AI, if you Google something and I Google something, we're going to get the exact same answer. But you are a completely different trader than I am. You have different risk tolerance. You have different position size. We trade different things. You have different time. We're different styles. Okay. You have different strengths. You have different weaknesses. We are different. I don't expect everybody to just trade the exact same way that I do and do exactly what I do. It's not realistic, and it's unfair to think that an inexperienced trader is going to be able to replicate someone that has a full-time job and is busy schedule. It's unfair to think that you're going to be able to do exactly what I do day in and day out as I sit in front of my computer and do this for a living. Okay? It is unfair and unrealistic to think that you're going to do that. Mari is built to understand you, the individual, your strengths, your weaknesses, your style, your tendencies, so we can make the best suggestions for you. This is why we have received the Benzinga FinTech Chairman's Award for Best AI Analysis Tool, and we are coming for a repeat of that award in 2025. It's not just about awards, though. You know, yes, it's nice to win awards. It's nice to get that recognition. There's a reason why we received the award. There's a reason why we then went on to develop a partnership with Benzinga. We also have a signed data partnership agreement with the NASDAQ directly. We work very deeply in a partnership with OpenAI. We also have a partnership with Unusual Whales, with TradingView. There's a reason why all these companies are working with True Trading Group. There's a reason why we have deals with all these companies, because they are recognizing what we are doing with AI and helping retail traders from all around the world. True Trading Group has over 10,000 members in 115 different countries. Truly a global community. We trade stocks, options, futures. We day trade, we swing trade. We also cover long-term portfolio investing, all brought together by Mari, the AI. Now, if you're wondering why you should listen to anything it is that I discuss on this channel, it's not because I believe that I'm the world's greatest trader. It is because I was trained by professionals on Wall Street. Literally, that's how I got my start in trading. My first job out of college, working at T3 Alpha Fund in New York City, where they had me go through a training program before they ever let me touch $1 of the fund's money. And then 2008 happened next. And that was the Great Recession. And that was the big stock market crash. But it's also the same year I received one of the firm's Trader of the Year awards. And you fast forward now, and I'm the co-founder and head trader of TTG. And along with my team of 8 other professional full-time trading moderators with an over 30-person staff, we've helped thousands of members from all over the world to reach their goals. So if you guys are ready to learn, trade, and profit for real, you've come to the right place. Smash that like button, show some love, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, make sure you never miss out on any of these live streams, because we're dropping golden nuggets on a regular basis. Let's get to it. First and foremost, we'll talk about the trade of the day. We were 2 for 2 today. We made some really good money on AMD, and we had a monster win on CERO. That's where we were today. So my biggest P&L trade of the day was CERO. Beautiful short squeeze. And we'll get to this and we'll talk about it. The lesson I want you guys to take from this real quick, and then we're going to talk about Israel and Iran, the United States. We'll talk about the Fed. We'll go over, what my trading plan is if things escalate tonight. If there is a situation where the U.S. gets involved militarily tonight, what do I think happens in the markets? How we're going to make money? We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Before I do that, I want to go over a quick lesson with you guys on why it is so important to use multiple time frame charts when you are trading. A big mistake that a lot of inexperienced traders make is that they look too close under a microscope and they miss the big picture. You guys have to get used to not just sitting on a 1-minute chart and looking at the last, 20 or 30 minutes of the day. You're missing the big picture. Okay. Use multiple time frame charts. When I'm actually trading, I actually use a 4 time frame breakdown. 3 minute is my top left, 5 minutes my top right, 15 minutes my bottom left, and daily chart is my bottom right. Now I have many other screens, but I can only share one screen at a time with you guys. Like I can just show you, I have another screen with 9 other charts on it, right? So it's like I have a lot of other screens, but I can only share with you guys one at a time. And when I'm trading live, I do have this 4 time frame breakdown of the same stock. And it's because the different time frames will help you guys see different setups and different patterns. When we take a look over at the CERO, I'll go back to the widescreen. I want you guys to realize that my trade ideas come from the daily chart. Okay. The daily chart is where I get my idea. Do I want to be long? Do I want to be short? Then I'll use the intraday chart to determine where do I want to actually enter my position. Okay. And with regards to CERO, we had a nice little resistance over here. Okay. Around 1250 or so. That was the 50-day moving average, this dark blue line that you guys see on my screen. And then previously before that, you had this little zone of resistance. And before that, you had this area that was acting as support. You had a false breakdown there, but then a recovery, and then it became resistance again back there in May. So I'm looking at 1250, and I say to myself, listen, if you get through the 50-day moving average, and you get through 1250, this thing has room. And my target was going to be $20. And it's $20 because that was, or 20 to 21. And that's because this purple line is the 100-day moving average. And here's a little bit of price structure there from the end of April. So I told everybody today, pre-market, you guys as a member of True Trading Group, you will get not only access to the best damn tools and resources that this industry has to offer, thanks to the deals and partnerships that we have with companies like Benzinga and TradingView, Unusual Whales, etc. Not only do you get access to all that, but you will get the moderator's trading plan every single day. Our members come into the day every day knowing exactly what stocks the moderators are focusing on, what prices we're going to be looking to get in, what prices we're going to be looking to get out. So it's never a guess. They know the game plan before the market ever opens. And I told everybody in the pre-market, listen, if CERO gets above 1250, I'm going to look for the long. I think the stock has room to 20. Members, true or false, is that or is that not what I said in the pre-market session? Obviously, if you're not a member, you weren't there. And I don't expect you just to believe me because I'm some guy on a YouTube channel. So if you are a member of True Trading Group, if you guys were with me in the pre-market session, did I or did I not just very plainly say, if we get above 1250, I'm interested. I think the stock has a chance to experience a little bit of a short squeeze. I can take us up into the $20 range. Okay. So that is what I was looking for. All right, that's what I was looking for. So let's now break things back down to a 3-minute chart. And let's go back. Let's go back to 1250. All right, there's that 1250 line. I didn't just draw that line there now. That's the same line from before. Okay. You put in an initial morning high, you broke through it, heaviest volume there of the day on the breakthrough. That's all I needed to confirm. Okay, we're now above 1250. So now I just look for a pullback into a support level. One support level would be the initial morning high. Another would be trade line or VWAP. And what happens, we pull right back down here into trade line VWAP. And I went ahead and I just took the trade long right there at $14.11. Okay, so right there is my entry at $14.11. And then the rest is history. We got a nice short squeeze, and I ended up getting flat just above $24 right there is where I ended up getting flat. So I took profits all along the way here. I just kept selling out of some, and then I took my final profit off right there. So it was a monster trade for us, and our risk was right back here. It was right back into this 1250 level. So this is our risk. And you can see all the profit that we were able to capitalize on. This is the biggest trade of the day for us. Thank you very much. All right. Hold on, guys. All right, so that's CERO. We also made some money in AMD, but we won't necessarily talk too much about that. We'll just focus on because CERO was the biggest one. AMD was just we kind of added to the day. Let's go back on over now to the overall markets. All right, as we sit here down near lows, the market started to sell off this afternoon. We started to sell off this afternoon because of some of the comments and the news headlines that were coming out about, the U.S. saying, or White House officials were saying that hitting that, airstrikes in Iran on some of their nuclear facilities are on the table. That was the headline that some of the White House officials said. And you got this big, sell off to the downside. That's when the market started to get a little nervous. And you can see some, increasing volume on the way, down, increasing volume there on the way down as the markets got a little bit jittery. And oil started to move higher at that exact same moment. So you can see oil then starts to move higher, stock prices start to move lower. And this all happened at the exact same moment there, shortly after 12:30, when those news headlines started to come across. So what we need to be paying attention to now, okay, this is the USO, this is not the price of oil, but it's an ETF that tracks oil futures. What I think we need to do is we've got to be ready for a scenario where things escalate and oil prices pop. And if oil prices pop, I think that you have a nice setup here on Chevron to make a push. And I want to show you guys this resistance level that we just broke above on Chevron. Let me delete this support level and we'll just talk about this one here. What you'll notice is I have two lines here because support and resistance levels are not finite prices. They are zones. And I drew out this area for you so you can see the zone of this level. Okay. So you guys can see the zone. All right. And you'll see support. Then we broke underneath it in April, and then resistance. And then here's resistance. And then today we broke above and cleared that level. And now we would look for this area to be support. And then you have targets would be gap entry, gap fill. Okay. Gap entry is 152. Gap fill is 156. And what I would look for on Chevron, if something escalates overnight, we look for 149.50 to 150, today's high and the 200-day moving average. We look for that to be support, and you look for Chevron to make a push into 152, 152 and a half, which is the gap entry from the sell-off from the tariffs. If you get above 152.50, you then begin to target a complete gap fill that takes you to 156. And if things escalate, you could very possibly see oil shoot up towards $100 a barrel, specifically if Iran were to close off the Strait of Hormuz. Okay. If they do that, that is when I think oil prices will really scream higher because oil transportation costs are going to go up. All right. If all of that oil coming out of the Persian Gulf cannot be transported freight through the Strait of Hormuz, it's got to go another route, another direction. That's going to increase transportation costs, which therefore increases oil prices, which therefore increases energy prices, which therefore increases inflation. And if you have a situation like that, right now, the markets are pricing in a scenario where the Fed is going to begin cutting rates in September. But if inflation were to tick back up in June or July, that could make for a rate cut in September. It could make it a little bit challenging and a little bit difficult. So we have to pay attention to that. We'll see what happens. But Chevron will be my number one play, my number one target. If something like that were to escalate, I will be going after Chevron. You also have ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil will be the second stock that I'm going to look at, which is ExxonMobil is even stronger than Chevron. And you have a gap entry at 115.5 and a gap fill at 118.5. So similar to Chevron, we would look for a gap entry break of 115 and change and look for a push into 118 and change. But hear me now and hear me clear. I do not believe if oil goes to 100, I do not think you should chase oil stocks higher. Okay. I do not think you should chase oil stocks higher. All right. If anything, if oil pops to 100, I would fade oil stocks then at that time. Right. So when it first happens, we can ride Chevron and Exxon higher, but I would not stay there too long because I don't expect, if oil shoots above 100, I do not expect it to stay there very long. It is the biggest solution to high oil prices is high oil prices. So what happens is when oil prices shoot up, the producers like OPEC, they increase their production, they increase supply to take advantage of the higher cost. So the increase in supply changes the balance of supply and demand and helps bring down the price of oil. At the same time, the high price of oil lowers demand. If it's $5 to a gallon to fill up your tank, right, it lowers demand. So the lowering of demand from the higher price and the increase of supply brings down the price of oil. It's why oil is not a good long-term investment. It's not like gold, where you can buy it, gold can go higher, then it'll go higher again, it'll consolidate, it'll go higher over time, right? If you bought gold, like we bought gold a few years ago into your trading group in the long-term portfolio, and it's doing phenomenally well. We bought it under $2,000 an ounce. Obviously, gold now over $3,000 an ounce. So we're doing very, very well on that position. But that's not something that happens with oil. Oil is not going to go from $65 a barrel to $150 to $200 to $300 to $500 a barrel, unless you have some Mad Max movie scenario, like somebody mentioned today inside of chat. As oil prices go up, they're more likely to, the higher they go, the more likely they are to come back down, because high oil prices is the solution to high oil prices. This is the way that it works. It's a commodity that trades within a price range. It's not a commodity that grows, that builds value over time like gold. Okay. That's the reason why you don't ever want to hold like oil from a long-term perspective. Okay. So, that's what I'm thinking. Like you take a look at like ExxonMobil. Like ExxonMobil has just a monstrous resistance level up here in the low 120s. If oil were to pop over $100 a barrel and Chevron were to go all the way up here, that is a sell, in my opinion. That is not a let's get ready for Exxon to make a new all-time high. In my opinion, that would be a sell. Same thing here with Chevron. You take a look at Chevron, you have the massive resistance over here in the mid 160s. If something crazy happened and oil went to $115 a barrel and you see Chevron, all the way up here, that in my opinion is a sell, not chase this thing higher. All right. So just keep that in mind as we go through this to try to determine, how we're going to make money from these situations and from these scenarios. But those are going to be the stocks that I'm going to target if something like that were to happen overnight. All right. Everybody get it? Got it? Good. Fantastic. Let's move on. Fed meeting. All right. Fed meeting tomorrow at 2:00. We're going to get the announcement. 2:30. We then get the Q&A. There is not going to be any rate cuts tomorrow. Nobody. That's not even something that is on the table. What is on the table is the likelihood of whether or not we're going to get a rate cut in September. Some people think we're going to get a cut in July. Others think September is the first one, and the second one will be in December. We want to know if Jerome Powell feels the same way. We want to know if Jerome Powell is happy about May's CPI number that we got a couple weeks ago. That was fantastic. Okay. April's number, fantastic. Is Jerome Powell happy about that? Or is he still like, I don't know yet? I think he's going to still tell you, I don't know yet. That's what I think they're going to say. I don't think they're going to say, yeah, no, we're good. Inflation's good. I think they still need to see one more month to determine whether or not tariffs are going to be affecting inflation. And then now you have the possibility of oil moving higher. So I think they're going to be cautious. I don't expect there to be, I expect to hear a Fed tomorrow that is going to be, that's not going to be dovish. I think they'll probably be a little bit more hawkish in the sense where they're just going to make it kind of seem like, no, we're not ready to cut rates. And there's still a lot of uncertainty out there with what's going to happen with tariffs and what's going to happen. July 9th is the deadline. If we don't have deals yet, does that deadline get extended? Which I think it will. But if the deadline doesn't get extended, do the reciprocal tariffs come back on? That'll really upset the market. You'll see the market's back at 570 before you can blink your eye. You'll be at 575 on the SPY before you can blink your eye if reciprocal tariffs were to come back on. So we got to be, we got to kind of stay on our toes now. But I think you're going to hear from Jerome Powell. You're going to hear, we're not ready. Yes, the inflation data is promising, but it's still not, we're not out of the woods. And now with this uncertainty around the price of oil, because there is no bigger impact in inflation, man, than the price of oil. Price of oil and housing, shelter. Those are the two biggest components in your inflation data. And we all know that shelter and housing has just been astronomical, right? It's been a gigantic pain in the ass. The one positive here was that energy prices had come all the way down. Gasoline prices have come all the way down. And that's been a real big help in bringing inflation down. If we lose that, if that no longer is part of the, if oil prices are no longer helping inflation come down, but rather, pushing inflation higher, then that could be problematic. In my opinion, that is far more problematic on inflation than the tariffs. I don't expect the tariffs to be any type of long-lasting inflation. I don't expect them to reaccelerate inflation in a meaningful way. I expect a price hike, and you'll get the impact in inflation from that change in price. But then I expect it to just drop back off. Not that the price will drop back off, but inflation will drop back off. Inflation is not a price. It is a rate of change. So if you have a tariff and a product goes from $100 to $104, it doesn't mean the next month it's going to go to 108. Okay, it'll go from 100 to 104, and the next month it'll be 104 and 10 cents. So that's not reaccelerating inflation. Inflation is a rate of change. So I don't believe the tariffs, I think they'll increase prices and have a temporary bump in inflation, but it won't be long lasting. It won't be like a reacceleration of inflation like you saw back in 2021. Okay, I don't think that's going to be the case. But if oil was to move higher, that could reaccelerate inflation, and that could last for a little while. So I think the bigger threat to inflation is energy and oil, more so than it is the tariff side. We'll have to see if that's true. I think if you get one more CPI number, if you get a June CPI, which you'll get in the beginning of July, if that number is also under expectations, then I feel like you'll be able to say, okay, the tariffs are not going to give us like that reacceleration in inflation. I think one more month of that, and I think we can probably start to say that. I wouldn't say it yet. I want to see one more month, and then I would probably say, yeah, I just don't see the inflation. So we're not out of the woods yet, right? Things look good, but there's a lot of question marks out there. So we are certainly not out of the woods yet. A lot of headline risk, a lot of catalysts out there that could change things up pretty quickly. All right. Support levels on the SPY, guys, are going to be sitting right down here around 593 to 594.5. It's going to be right around here. You guys can see resistance, broke above its support, and you've been holding above that. A break beneath that. Okay, let's just talk about it. If you were to break underneath this, you stretch all the way down to 592. But if you break underneath that, then you're looking at a drop down into this zone here. And that is where I would not stand in the market's way. If you get a reaction, okay, that looks something like this, if you get a candle that looks something like this, I would not stand in the way of that. I would not try to necessarily buy that dip, because if that's the candle if that's the price action we get, I would then say probably 594, 595 is resistance, and you probably drop down into this 200-day moving average, and you probably start to mess with those high 570s, low 580s. All right. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of that level. It's a fantastic support level, and I think it's a wonderful target. If things were to escalate and the market sells off, that's the spot I think we head to. All right. Get it? Got it? Fantastic. Good. All right. Take a little sip of water. And I'm curious. Let me nah, screw it. I was gonna maybe go through and go over something else with you guys, but we can save it. We can save it for tomorrow, because I'll go live tomorrow too. We'll see what's going on. Obviously, depends what happens with Israel and Iran, and then what happens with the Fed. So I'll go live again tomorrow so we can talk about it. And we can go over all of that with how things go. What I will tell you is this: those of you that are not members of True Trading Group, okay, those of you that are not members, you guys can go to ttgoffer.com right now. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. Stop trying to trade through this stuff. Don't try to trade through this stuff on your own. But if you guys go to ttgoffer.com now, all right, I want you guys to go ahead and take a look. You guys will see everything that you're going to get as a member of True Trading Group, because you guys can get access to our platform for just 90 days. And that includes our award-winning AI tool. Okay, our award-winning AI tool is going to be part of your membership. So Mari is going to be the AI co-pilot. That's what won the Benzinga FinTech Award for Best AI Analysis Tool. It is more than a research tool. It's your personal co-pilot. It connects every part of your TTG core membership in one intelligent, easy-to-use system. It brings our entire 22-course curriculum, Benzinga Pro News, unusual options activity, real-time data for stocks, options, futures, crypto, trading views, charting software, unusual whales, short data, dark pool data, all of that. So everything works together in sync, all tailored to you and your tendencies, your strengths, your weaknesses, your preferences. No complex prompts. You just talk to Mari in plain English. It delivers fast, clear, personalized insights, all built around your style, your questions, your next move to help you guys make money in the markets a lot more consistently and a lot faster and a lot sooner. Learn faster, trade smarter, profit sooner. Okay. That is going to be the slogan on that. And I want you guys to just think about this. 90 days, $247. That's it. You've all lost more than $247 before on some stupid trade idea somebody in a Discord room told you about, or somebody on X. You get $247, and every single thing that you see on ttgoffer.com is included in your membership. The co-pilot, the 22-course curriculum, which is a simplified version of the training I received working at the fund in New York. Obviously, our chat room, all the trade alerts, the daily watch list, Benzinga Pro's real-time news feed, Trading Views premium charting software, unusual options activity, dark pool data, short data, analyst ratings, congressional trading data, 1,000 hours inside of our video library, the trade idea scanner. All of this is included for 90 days for just $247. That's it. After the 90-day membership is over, okay, after the 90-day membership is over, you are not automatically charged again. There is no reoccurring payment. There is no automatic renewal. There is no automatic upgrade to an annual membership. If after your 90-day membership, you decide you want to stay, you have to manually process the transaction. If after your 90 days, I am so confident once you use our AI platform, you will never want to trade with it without it ever again. If you're unhappy that that's not true after the 90 days and you're unhappy, I will give you an additional 30 days totally for free on us. That's how confident I am you are going to absolutely love using the TTG platform. See what 10,000 members from 115 countries have already found out. And that is that TTG gives you the very best chance of becoming successful, the very best chance of making money. Members of True Trading Group, as a matter of fact, if you are making money because of TTG, do me a favor, type the number 1 in chat right now. Anyone that's not a member of True Trading Group, pay attention to the people you see type the number 1. Those are your friends, your family members, your coworkers. If they can do this, then so can you. We have to welcome Robert. Robert just joined. Everybody welcome Robert. Robert is the newest member of True Trading Group. Everybody welcome Robert. Robert, welcome to the TTG fam. Welcome to the TTG fam. And guys, listen, our members are successful not because they have more time. 82% of our members have a full-time job. Okay? 82% have a full-time job. If they can do this, then so can you. Simple as that. And then guys, once you actually, if you decide you want to become an annual member of True Trading Group, you actually unlock our double your money back guarantee. So your double your money back guarantee is pretty simple. You join True Trading Group. If you cannot make back your membership fee at least once after going through the courses, passing our quizzes, attending a study group, and using Mari, our AI, if you can't make back your membership fee at least once, we'll give you back double. That is our double your money back guarantee. You unlock that when you become an annual member of True Trading Group. I'm letting you guys join now for 90 days for just $247. No year commitment. Try it out for 3 months. Let's try to double what you paid, and let's get you using the AI platform to help you make better decisions, learn faster, trade smarter, and profit sooner. Okay? Go to ttgoffer.com. We got to welcome Mike. Mike's the newest member of TTG. Everybody welcome Mike, newest member of the group. Everybody welcome Mike. Again, that's ttgoffer.com. If you have any questions at all, do not hesitate. Send a text message, 1-888-621-2127. Again, that is 1-888-621-2127. Text that number if you guys have any questions at all whatsoever. If you need help signing up, anything you're concerned about, Text us. Phone number's right down there at the bottom of your screen. You'll talk to a real person. All right. There you guys have it. That is all, folks. All right. That is ttgoffer.com. Join us for 90 days. Get your butts in chat. It was a big day today. Let's start to keep that going tomorrow. And let's see what happens with Israel and Iran. This is not the time for you guys to try to figure this stuff out on your own. Because if something happens and the markets go haywire, you need to be prepared. You need to have a plan. And what better than to be in a community that is led by myself and 8 other professional full-time traders and 10,000 other retail traders that genuinely give a damn whether or not you succeed or fail. There's no better place to be. ttgoffer.com. Thanks for joining in tonight, folks. Hope you guys really enjoyed the live. We got a big day tomorrow. I'll see you guys there. Keep your ears open for some news headlines over this evening. All right. See you guys later. Subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button. Turn on your notifications. Don't ever miss out on this. Again, ttgoffer.com. Text us with questions. 1-888-621-2127. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a great night, guys.